We'll find out. That's about good. We're gonna start off with some soap. 1 ounce. 2. And some. It's not completely full, so we're doing a little less soap. Put this back on. Usually about 3 ounces. 3 ounces in a tin keg. Charge it up. Let's see if we can get chat going here. Hey, that's working. That's good. And then how's this one going? Look at that. I think it's working. How do I get the film in the seal without creasing it? Well, this is a good one to talk about with that. Not the easiest of doors, not the hardest. But we're doing the front doors and the windshield. This was supposed to be a full thing. But now it's the front doors. We're doing front doors and the full windshield. Now we're doing Apex 35, which we should be able to just double cut these. I'll grab the other roll for the windshield. This one's nearing the end. Tank's all good, ready to go. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Let's put it behind. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna use a stool today to hold our keg. How many pumps of soap for a 32-ounce spray bottle? Maybe like 3 or 4. But it depends. Depends on the film. Because a lot of films might just be tacky, and there's still a handful of films that just don't have that same grab to it. We're just clearing out the line. And I'll do that with the other side, but we're ready to go on this side. I haven't done a pump from baby shampoo in a long time. I actually never measured it. I would pop off the top, because I've used a spray tank for a lot longer. So even when I had that, I wouldn't really measure it as much. So I would pop the top off and just guesstimate the amount of like glugs. Later on, I started measuring them more. But I've been using spray kegs for so long at this point. I pretty much just either put it in a measuring cup for that, especially with like tint slip. But I don't think I ever measured how much one little pump of baby shampoo is. I always got annoyed and just pop the top off and dump it in. Is there stuff when you clear out the line? There can be. I'm just double checking that there's not. So what had happened before was we went through a little period of time where we were getting some basically like snow. This is where I'm gonna feel real old on this one. So that's all wiper stuff. Is there not like a... No, that's lane keep and turn signals and parking and all that. There we go. I guess that button actually did it. Now we shut it off. But yeah, there was a period of time. We good. That I was getting buildup in the lines. So, ever since I've cleaned it out with vinegar, I haven't seen it, but I'm keeping an eye on it because I want to make sure that everything looks all right. This one, right? So we're doing Apex 35. Should be able to split this one in half. Mid-size, but not huge. Is this game on PC? No, it's just for mobile. It's got a lot of like annoying pop-ups and dumb pay to win. Does this one have the front door seals that are tight, just like all Audis? Somewhere in between. It's definitely not the worst. I'd say it's on probably like the more forgiving / normal side. But the lower portion here is pretty typical Audi. Door panel gets really close in some spots. So, 36-inch roll, we split that in half. Covered up what we need. Where's a trash can? There should be one over here. I'm gonna take this for a minute and put this over here. What size rolls are best for starting a tint side gig? That's a good question. So as far as percentages, 20, 35, and 5 are going to be your most popular. But as far as roll sizes, I always go back to like 36 and 24s. 24s for side windows, and 36s, like you saw here, mid-size trucks and SUVs, I can often split them apart and do one for each door. So I'll save a little bit more film versus using a 20 that way. But like a 20 is just easier to carry around. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this side first and I'll go to that side. You can see this a little bit better. This is just a plastic edge, but look, there's still a little round that's a lot like a lot of the rubber seals that we see. So we're still gonna slide it over. About 1/4 of an inch. Go from there, which is pretty much that little indentation there. We'll go a little bit farther than that. It's kind of a nice guide though. We'll come back over here. This is a thicker film too. So this is cutting through like 4 mil right now. It'll be a little bit harder to get right close to the seal. And sometimes it shifts. Oh shit, did we do that? Ugh, damn it. Yep, I should have just locked it down. Because now it's basically exact. So this is what I didn't want to happen. Because it's so thick, when you make this cut, I just slid it over a little bit farther. So now this is not what I wanted. Exact. So that means when I install this, unfortunately, it'd be too short on the sides. So I need a new piece. So we'll try that again. And not make a dumb mistake. At least that's what we hope. Layer that on top. Push this over. Overlap. We're using a different squeegee today, too. Fusion brought back the Blue Max, but it's different. I thought it was the same until I actually got it in my hands. It is very different from what it used to be. Make that cut. Put that there. Now we're gonna trim out this. All right, that side looks good. So we're gonna make that same cut again. And the only thing I'm gonna change this time is I'm gonna make sure that this doesn't slide. So to do that, I just loosened up the rear. We can slide this over where we need it. Leave it lined up there at the bottom. Take it, couple passes, tag it in place, which is the smarter thing to do. Or now I'll cut this side. So, because I pinch a little bit tighter here, it's just 2 mil pieces together, so it's thicker. So I didn't realize that I had actually brushed it back in the other direction. So now, I got a little overlap there, a little overlap here. I can pull it down into the seal just a little bit. We don't need to go very far. We can tag it back in place. Do you use the plotter or no? I definitely use it. It just depends. Some jobs I'm gonna hand cut, some jobs I'm gonna plotter cut. This one, a lot less windows overall, being 2 front doors in the windshield. So I'm just gonna hand cut it. We're getting used to a new squeegee a little bit. I have a feeling this is gonna be a favorite. It's got all the right things. Like, I've been a big fan of the hybrid for a long time. This is probably the closest cropped squeegee that I've seen. Blue Max used to be harder. This is not a hard squeegee. This is a kind of like a medium. Look at how much that's flexing. It's just different. So they got the Blue Max name, but it's definitely not the Blue Max. The Blue Max almost had like a waxy feel to it. It was definitely firmer. This one's different. Do I have a knife? This one. Oh, this is the other one. I need that pink one. That's what I need. This one. How do you feel about PPF? It's a cool skill. It's very much in demand. I still don't understand exactly how it became as popular as it did. But PPF is cool. I don't really want to do it though, personally. I've done some PPF. I was okay. There's still a lot that I need to learn. I just didn't have the right type of training, but I also didn't realize that until like later on. But I like Tint more. What's PPF? Paint protection film. It's like a big screen protector for your car. Have you ever competed? Yeah, I got older videos. Competing was fun. Last I competed was in Indiana. It was nice because we could just drive over in that direction and haul my stuff there. That's kind of why I don't really want to, or I'm not as into competing. You're more focused on doing any of that rather than just enjoying the event. But they're fun. They're fun to go to, be at. It's crazy how different everybody tints, though. You see like a couple ways. You see a couple ways on video, and then you see a room of people that have been tinting for a long time. Everybody's doing it a little bit differently. You learn something from everybody. That's part of it's really fun. What do you use to get really bad water spots out of glass before you tint? Water spots actually, like a glass scrubbing compound, just a water spot remover. But you wouldn't, like for the tinting portion, it's going on the inside, so there shouldn't be any water spots on the inside. But after it's tinted on the outside, they're gonna stand out a little bit more. It's gonna be weird to say Blue Max is one of my favorite squeegees again. But I'm gonna have to keep reiterating. Like I gotta try and see if I've got an original laying around. That's why I keep random shit for so long. There's a reason. It's probably all old and dried out. They were different. They were not like this. This is a cool squeegee though. Is that 35? It is. Do you need a compressor to run a 5-gallon tank? Yes. There's some with a pump, but honestly, a compressor is really simple. Because you don't need like a big shop air compressor. You can get a little tire inflator and use that. That's what I used to use when I was mobile. I would go to different auto shops, use their air compressor. Sometimes theirs was down. I'd carry around a small tire inflator and just use the same type of keg. What brand are you using? GeoShield. This is their Apex. Is it necessary to shrink every side window? If you remove the bottom seals, there's a lot less need to. The bottom seal kind of holds water, and you can't spread out the film as evenly. Like when we two-stage it, we install the top portion. It generally forces a little bit of extra to bulk up at the bottom. And then the bottom seal holds, like keeps that edge wet, holds water, and then you'll have fingers pop up. It just doesn't give it a chance to dry out. Does the tint shrink when you use the heater? Yep. Yep, that's the whole point of the heat gun. Heat up the film, shrinks it, and then I get this same curve, and everything installs nice and neat. What tint do you recommend? Geo is what I'm using. There's definitely other great brands, but there's still a lot of strong reasons why I use Geo versus overspending on something else. Can't tell. Oh, my trash can's supposed to be there. Let me move it back. I can't tell if it's the tint quality I have, but I'm having a terrible time with hard creases on the tint when I install. Is it crappy quality? Generally, no. There are some characteristics. There's some characteristics that will make certain films a little bit easier than others to install. There's strong reasons of using Geo instead of using something else. A lot of it is knowing that the product's good and I'm not overspending on brand. Because it's really easy to go, ooh, they got a very recognizable brand. I should go with them. But when you dig more into manufacturing, a lot of them are pretty fucking similar. Doesn't mean they're all the same exactly, but kind of figure out where your average customer is spending. It's just it's always been a really good fit for my business. What do you think about Autobahn? Autobahn's cool. They're gonna be more Guari than anything, though. So that's kind of like the Pro Classic and Pro Nano lines. They do territories, which is kind of cool. I don't have a pricing sheet from them, though. But I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit more expensive. You have a buy-in, you get a territory. But if I want to use that film, I think the unique one that they have is i3, but that's why, like i3 Plus. But we have Apex, so... How much is ceramic tint? Like to buy a roll or to get it installed? Thoughts on Reno? I heard a lot of bad stuff about Reno, but I haven't heard it recently. So that's good. Or better. But yeah, I didn't look into them for that reason. It's just a lot of people were using them. They had a bunch of issues. I haven't seen that type of stuff posted in a while. How do you add the retractable hose reel to the tint keg? So that is a Cox hose reel with it had a 1/4-inch airline on it. And we just swapped out the hose is all we did. But now that I'm a little bit smarter about it, I didn't realize there's NPT fittings. I didn't know that was a standard size. I thought I'd have to go on a fitting hunt. But you see this brass fitting right here? See how that turns? So this basically goes around, out here directly to this. This is a swivel, and then out here directly to that. It's really simple. So whatever hose reel you get, just make sure it's got a brass, so then it's not going to rust. And if it's a 5/8, you can step it down to a 1/4-inch pretty easily. Why are the high-end tint brands exclusive only to dealers? Because higher-end dealers want perks. So that's a big reason why I went with Geo early on. It wasn't the reason. I was looking for a film brand, but dude, I get a lot of people that just ask, hey, what film do you use? And if I'm just using Lumar doesn't give a lot of people the time of day because they can't afford it. So somebody calls, hey, I want to buy a roll, and they're like, hey, actually, we have a buy-in and a program, and you need a business license and this and that. It's like, yo, dude, I just want to buy some good film. Where do I go? And so Geo was one of the very few that kind of fit that bill. Nice branding. I knew where the products came from. I liked them. Price points were pretty good. So that's why I'm still a big fan, because they've held up all that. There we go. I think there's more choice than there's ever been, though. Which is cool to see. Because, like, earlier on, it's like, I got to call a company. I got to get signed up as a dealer. They want me to jump through a handful of hoops just to use their films. And then you start using their films, and then you realize, I don't really like this. It's not that special. They just had a pretty package for it. Or if they're moving that dumpster out of here. Looks good. Do you do heavy equipment? Very rarely. I had like a utility truck come here a few months ago. I just don't get asked about it. That's about as heavy as it's been. We're just not very like, we wouldn't be easy for like farm equipment to get here. They're gonna need somebody that's farther out, closer, or willing to go there. Tuck this in. There's a point in spraying all that stuff under it. There we go. There's a adhesive on the film. So part of it is to rinse the window because I don't want to get any dirt trapped into it. And then it helps the film slide. What are your thoughts on Expo? I heard their films are manufactured in China and India. I don't know where they're PPF. I don't think China's true. But their main automotive window lines, yeah, they're Guari. So it's actually a little crazy right now because I don't know how long they're gonna stick for, but we're starting to see tariff increases with a few because Guari is a huge window film manufacturer for a lot of major brands. And India just got 50% tariff increases. So, I don't know. It's about to get spicy. It's like 15% for Korea, 50 for India. $15 is manageable for a film company. 50 is like, oof. Yikes. We'll see. What's the best film to start out with without having a business, to set up a dealer? I mean, again, that's why I like Geo. Even Geo is rolling out a program soon, though. What does that mean? We're going to war? No, like, it just means that everything's more expensive to buy. So if I want to buy a roll of film and import it, that means I gotta spend 50% more for whatever the product cost. And film companies will probably try and eat some of it because they don't want to lose dealers. But then film prices go up, dealers raise film prices, prices go up across the board. A roll of 20 by 100 ceramic by Suntech costs about $350. Is that like their CIR? I can get like a 36-inch of C2 for near that price. One thing about starting tinting is they're a good course to type. So I have a 3-day class and we have single-day sessions, but I think the best thing that you can do is watch some videos, see what tools that you need, get some film, get some tools, and see if you even like it. Some people learn it quickly, some people are a lot slower. So classes can be really beneficial, but I wouldn't sink that kind of money into it unless you're sure you even like it. What kind of white tape? This is seal guard tape. So rubber seal, dirt collects in there. Also felt seals, same thing. Just it's a way of basically masking that off. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do one more thing. Oh, door panel cover. Wow, that literally has like the most obnoxious sound. Yeah, what sound? People complain about the doors being open. Where do you get it? We have a supply store. 313tint.com. This panel guard doesn't stick to all panels. We have a newer version that's better. But even this is only going to be so good. Door panels don't want things. What we've learned is door panels don't want things to stick to them. So you get to a point where the tape is so aggressive that on the ones that it does stick to, it then would start to become unsafe. But yeah, we had a white version before this. Overall, it was pretty good, but we went through some tweaks, and now we have a blue version of it that's stronger. What do you mean when Geo is gonna? I can't say too much, but they're gonna start some dealer program here soon enough. Yeah, looks good. Cool. I can't say too much because it's not finalized. I just know something's coming. So people won't be able to buy it for DIY? No, people will still be able to buy it. But they're gonna be going for more value for the dealers. So if you're more of a DIY enthusiast, It might not be the best of changes, and I have nothing to do with those changes. So, we'll see. Love your work. Thank you. I learned so many basic things from you. I 19, open up my own shop. Wow. Dang. Congrats, man. That's super cool. I guess I'm going to have to stock up. I wouldn't be too concerned if you're like an existing Geo customer / dealer. I think it's just going to be, sounds like a couple simple hoops to go through. But they're going to be focusing a little bit more on a dealer network and growing those programs a little bit more versus just having like, hey, we're GeoShield. We carry awesome films. Which I like most companies more for, hey, we're this company. We have an awesome film line. Because, I mean, unless you have like some, I don't know, I can just run my mouth too much. You just got to build real value for people. And that's what I hope that we see moving forward. Looks good. Are you using Stack? No, I'm using Geo. Looks good. Let's roll this up. Rinse that underneath. But yeah, like I was saying, like what? You have some companies with some interesting programs. So like you have Union, they've got their agency, which I love that kind of tie-in, where it's like, hey, I'm a film company. They already have like a integrated advertising company into their film brand, and so if you use their films, then they help you out with like your ads and getting that all running, so you get more business, right? That makes sense. I'm a tint shop. I need more customers. Film company benefits because, hey, if this account tints more cars, then he buys more film, right? It's a win-win. That kind of shit's so nice. So, early on, it's I'm a film company and I have a window film. And then they evolved into I'm a window film company and I have multiple offerings. And then grew their brands, more recognizable, that helps with sales. Then they have like business programs. So they want to grow up from being a nice customer service focus, like all the things that they have now, and then expand their like dealer programs in ways that are good for growing dealerships. Expel film is the best. Changed my mind. I mean, were we talking about their marketing? Because I heard they'd like dump $40 million into marketing in like Q1. So that's really good. They got into the Tesla app. That's a big W. But if we're talking about like purely their films, nah, film quality. I mean, I got 2 lines of film that came from the same manufacturer that I subbed out for C2 and Apex, so I think film quality is, like, they don't have bad film quality, but I don't think they're the best. Pre-recorded video, just doing voiceovers, that's probably true. Who would you say is the best? Such a loaded question. I don't feel like anybody has the absolute very peak best lineup. I feel like everybody's got a few lines that can do really well, but because a lot of film companies are going to have similar manufacturers, they're going to have similar films. It's not like each film brand has their own manufacturing plant and they're working tirelessly. No, they're fucking working with 1 or 2 or 3 manufacturers a lot of times to make the best products that that manufacturer has available. What? Just because his arm hairs get me, do you shave your arms? What do you mean? No. That's just how they are. What do you mean? Okay, let's glass aid this thing. Like, purely film for film. Like, who has the best film? I think it's so obnoxious and hard to measure. And when you're up in the top tier of most brands' films, like XR Plus, what I hear is it's very blue. Some people like that, some people don't like that. I personally would like a more neutral color tone. But you could have really good performance though. But like 100% everything, dude, I don't know. It's a dick measuring contest that just doesn't really matter. What tape are you using? Glass-Aid. Glass-Aid cut guard. Is it easier to cut shapes out by hand? With this stuff, it's more to protect the window. So it's nice that I can see where I need to cut, but I'm gonna take an extra close look at the sides of this, because this is usually where it gets really tight. Same thing for the dots down here. It gets really deep. Extra pressure, not fun. Which shade do you have in your personal vehicle? My favorite setup was 20 or 15 on the front, and 35 on the windshield. But then I got older. And now I have 50 and 35. I still like 35 on the windshield better, but I show a lot of people my car when we're trying to pick out shades for their car. So what they see is like 50, 35, and 20. And that usually helps us dial in what they want to do. This is Glass-Aid. Cut guard. Almost gone. But it's a very thick. You notice the core size is really small. The tape is very thick. So it provides a little outline, but then I cut on the tape. And so that way I'm not dragging a blade around the car. And then I don't have to pay for a windshield. Do I need more dryer sheets? I think I gotta grab them. I used to think Michigan didn't have tint laws. No, we definitely have them. Michigan tint laws are nothing on the front doors, nothing on the windshield, except the top 4 inches. You can go as dark as you want on the rear, unless you have a doctor's note. If you have a doctor's note, they don't specify. For all I know, you could put 2% on your windshield. Now we got a snuggle. We'll wipe that shit on the windshield. Then while that's drying, we're gonna prep the inside. Do I have the package here? I don't. Sometimes I have like a sleeve here or there. Oh yeah, here's one. This is what I'm using on the windshield. Yeah, you can use it on any of the windows. You can use it on the back glass, front windshield, quarter windows if you want to. So when I have to trim this out, I just don't want to drag a blade anymore around the glass. So that's my way of protecting it. What are you wiping on the windscreen? A snuggle dryer sheet. This is pissing me off to no end. No matter how much I clean the glass, I still end up with little air spots. It's typically not about the cleaning. It's about the install. There's so many little things that can drag a little bit of dirt into your work. The less finesse that you have, the more dirt that you're gonna have in your work. A lot of people would be done before me. I'm not the fastest person to watch. I mean, do you see it around here? Does it look like we're in a rush? Oh yeah, I still gotta clean the inside of it. Yeah, we might as well put the film on. Is this a business or a studio? It's both. It's literally called Detroit Tint Studio. This is a customer's car. But yeah, we just don't have to do a lot of cars every day. Okay. So let's get some film on the window. I need a card. Where's my knife? There it is. Here you get customers existing in as many places as you can. Google Maps. Those are generally like the biggest areas of traffic for our shop, so somebody's just in the area. Angel with the 5, thank you. What's up, man? I appreciate that. Go trim the other side, and then we'll shrink it. Yes, dry shrink. Basically always. Did you start that Facebook group yet? I have it. It wasn't a Facebook group specifically, but it was a off-platform group. But I get the feeling that it's going to take a bunch of effort to push traffic to it, and I don't know if I want to do that. But we should get the videos and stuff organized on there. Put it on the website as a help section, I think. Trying something else, though. Ooh, I don't want to click on it. I'm too nervous it's going to break. Oh, yeah. So, the live thing... I wonder if it's going to crash. I'm nervous that it's going to crash. I'll try it towards the end. But I have I set up a live join. So, like, I'm intending on being live more. But basically what I came up with is I put a page on our website and I linked it to like a Zoom. It's not exactly that. It's simpler. But you can click a join button and basically just like pop up on screen. So a few people at a time can join. What's the tape on the window? It's called Glass Aid. It'll keep the glass from getting blade damage when I go to trim it out. What's the best way to learn to shrink? Whenever I get to the corners, I mess up. Ooh. I should have read that comment just a few seconds ago. Okay, so corners. Corners, you guys mess up. You don't really understand what you're trying to do. So let me try and help. So we're gonna pull this back and let some air back out, and you can kind of see the ripple pattern that we have. When we try and stretch this back out over the window, we're not just trying to get the air pockets to disappear. We shrink it so it fits the shape of the window. But you see these lines that are coming this way. This all, in order to lay flat, wants to come out this way. What a lot of people do, though, is they'll take this and look, I got a finger, and they're going to take that, and they're going to take their card and do this. Block all this off, create a big finger, it gets tight, it burns and creases. You want to take this type of slack, stretch it out this way. So when I go to shrink the other side, I'll show you. That's what's been happening to me. I know. I see it all the time. So we have like a 3-day course, and we spend like an entire day to 2 days shrinking. Everybody seems to get it really quickly once they understand the problem and what they're actually looking for. So I have it tacked in the middle. I still have fingers here on the side. I'm just going to take that, I'm going to brush it up, and look, now this is flat. Take my card and just tack down the very, very edge. Not this much, not that wide. We'll do just that much. And we're going to start heating. And you're probably at the point where you heat it, you get some film to lay down. Everything starts going good early on, and then it gets worse and worse, especially in the top corners. So that's where all the troubles really happen. So I'm always looking for this pattern. And I can put some heat on the window, and look, I don't see that pattern yet. I need more heat. So you always want to trust that eventually you're going to see the little ocean waves. But when we push those forward, look at what's happening to the corners. They're starting to angle now. It was going like this towards the middle, and now it's starting to go like this. And so now I got this little swoop in this area. So rather than just pushing this flat, I'm going to take this, readjust this corner, and I took it and I basically dragged it out this side in this corner. Now this is flatter. So it's just this over and over again. When you get to the corners, you're going to see the film curving or swooping down this way a little bit. And you just want to make sure that swoop starts to go out the side in here, and it starts to flatten out this top area. It's just that little song and dance over and over again. Where people really screw up is they'll heat the film up some, but like I don't quite see the pattern yet. So I need to keep shrinking it. I did this, but I don't think I did it fast enough. Speed doesn't matter. I could take a day to do this and still get a good result. Like when it comes to shrinking, it's just, it either looks like this or it doesn't. So you just slowly heat it up until it looks like that. But when you get towards the edges, so the top, like really third of the window, so from here down to here, you're gonna get the heat gun closer and closer. It only gets so hot, so you need more and more heat. So it shrinks really fast in the beginning, and then as I get closer to the top, my heat gun's gonna get a little closer and a little closer and a little closer. Always waiting for that pattern. Do you shrink the plastic still on the film? Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, we'd have a, you try not to. Yes, definitely. There's just adhesive. So as soon as I peel this, it's just like a sticker. It's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get gross, nothing's gonna slide on it. It's the hardest. I had one of the most annoying things was a boat. I did good with all the side windows. The back window, there's not that much space at the bottom. Yeah, there's a few extra tools that'll help you get in those farther, lower, hard to reach areas. We'll be using them on this too. Yep, we're using a red dot. Let's see how much room we got on the inside here. Oh, holy shit. Ew. Fuck me, dude. Why? Look at that. They just glued the shit out of it. Aftermarket. Aftermarket with a... I mean, it's not going anywhere. This side's not quite as bad. We gotta trim some of this back. More space on that side, though. That's urethane. It's the glue that holds the windshield in. This is an aftermarket. So it got replaced, which is fine. That happens. Very common. But when you have that much urethane spilling past your dot border. It's just sloppy. It's sloppy work. Not really something they'd care about, though. A little harder to notice, but it makes my life annoying. See all that? We basically have to trim back the urethane seal a little bit, but that was shot so wide and thick that it spilled into an area that it didn't need to. Oh, yeah, go ahead. The doors are done. Windshield is going to be installed really soon. Yeah, no problem. All right. Carve this out. Was the best tint combo? Oof. Getting pulled over isn't a thing. I'd still go back to like 35 and 15. I had 5 for like 5 minutes. Put it on my front doors, and I like immediately took it off. I wish I had seen this beforehand. That's good. And we got just a little bit down here along this stretch. Because like what'll happen is I'll go to install, and then it's just not going to, it's not gonna fit. I'm trying to ruin their trim here. Doors are 35. Come on. That's what I need. I think I got it. Mostly. You gotta trim it flush around the dots. Any spill. Look at that. Messy. Have you ever heard of Reno? Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely heard of him. I don't know a lot about him, but I have heard of him. That's the tint that the tint school I'm going to uses. Nice. Yeah, not much I can say about it. Yeah, we're doing a Audi windshield. I'm going a lot closer to the inside edge of this one too. What's the estimated cost? 2013 Camaro, all around with a windshield, 450 for carbon, 550 for ceramic, and 650 for our dual ceramic. Difference, this one's getting the dual ceramic. It blocks out the most amount of heat. Yeah, I'm going for the. I typically don't care as long as I'm cutting on the line. On an Audi, you don't have as much room, but I've got a little more room on the inside on this passenger side. But when they reinstalled the glass, there we go. There's just a lot of urethane over the dots, so you have to take the time to trim that back, or the film's not getting tucked, and then you have a gap, and it's just not going to turn out pretty. Oops. Respect the hustle. Thank you. Okay, that's good. Are you using metas? I wish. They don't do this, but it would be pretty cool if they did. There we go. My web page. For my, like, what? For 313 Tint or for Detroit Tint Studio. How often do you do classes? So we do them once a month. We have one next week. Dates are on the site though. TVPPF? Not at the moment, no. Sorry, I don't typically like blasting the edge like that, but we got a lot of shit there. I want to make sure when I stick film, I'm not gonna have any of those little dingle dangles popping in. Are you using the torch squeegee? What's that? The torch squeegee. No, I got a Blue Max. We got the new Max. They should have just called it the new Max. This is different though. This is different than the original Blue Max. Fusion got the rights, and they're bringing it back, and it's different. I asked about arm hair because he had an arm hair stuck in mine. Oh, I gotcha. So that was a serious question. I don't know if it's actually an arm hair though, but it could be. Like sometimes, yeah, like I would get those miscellaneous, like random hairs. I don't know, I'll just show you the process again. I just try and be as careful as I can. Wipe things down, spray it, and then when I'm handling it, like it's not brushing against my arms. So if it's not doing that, then it shouldn't get it. You putting those on your website? Yep. It's up there now. But I was really surprised. And this is what's a little difficult about showing squeegee blades. The new Blue Max is similar to the hybrid. It's not this, I don't think it's the same squeegee process. I think there's like extruded, injection molded, which would be this one, pour cast, which I think is this. I think this is an extruded squeegee. I think that might be why I like it so much though. But a lot of this, I would say the Blue Beast, I think, is more like the original Blue Max, and the new Blue Max, you'll see just the black lettering on it. This one's just different altogether. It's more like a hybrid to me. So I like that a lot. But now I think it's confusing. You don't really know until you get them. So like they had this announcement that they were coming back out with the Blue Max, and I was never really like, woo, Blue Max. But it has a huge. It's been around forever. A lot of people liked it. So I got to put it through its paces, and we'll see how long it lasts. But I think the Blue Max was always a harder squeegee, and it was very easy to nick on the top edge of a window. No, let's put this back on my glasses for now. But this one glides really well, and it's a little softer, and it's just got a nice feel to it. I think it's going to be better than whatever the Blue Max was, but not everybody's going to like it. But it's my type of squeegee. Roadmap or Wix? I'm with Roadmap. I had a Wix site. I think if you want an awesome website and you really care about like that extra polish, and Roadmap is really good. I haven't done it justice, I'll tell you that though. Okay, so the way I keep windshields clean, and this is probably going to jinx myself, is I start with wiping it off. Oh my God, this mic, my glasses, this mic, it's not a good fit right now. Too much leaning over. I'm gonna put it back. Okay, and then I'm gonna peel one corner of it, and I typically stop now right where the cutout is. Then I'm gonna pick it up here. And this helps keep everything nice and controlled. And I can just jet a bunch of water here, mist the top area, and then we're gonna gently set this back down the way that we picked it up. All right, so we get everything to mostly like lay flat where it was. Doesn't need to be perfectly flat, but it helps rolling it up if you can get it flatter. Then we run over here, we do the same thing. We're gonna wipe off the outside. Plotter recommendations. Workhorse, Jag, or Graphtec, whichever one fits your budget in each one of those. Okay, so we're wiping off mainly because there's a lot of little dryer sheet, fibers, that kind of stuff around the edges from shrinking, like little dust particles and whatnot. So now I'm gonna peel this sometime today or tomorrow, we'll see. There we go. And peel this corner. Again, I stop right towards the cutout. We're gonna pick this up. Then we cross over that midpoint. We just make sure the entire thing is loose, except for that one area around the mirror. Let me lay this back down. Then we're just going to spray the outside so it slides easier when we roll it up. And we're gonna roll it up. The tighter the roll, the better that this is gonna be. But watch this. When your roll's a little fatter, you can pinch your fingers in. That'll help you tighten it up a little bit more. Just pinch your fingers in. Pull back. Lift. Tint goes on the inside. Does it have to? You sure? And then you can even take your finger and spin it inside the roll and get it to go even tighter. You know, like a poster. Then we start unrolling. I'm gonna rinse off this half, or this side, just because it's there. Easy to make sure that that got rinsed before we stick it. Spray the side there. Then we're gonna tuck this down, get the left side up first. Whatever side you start on, get that side tucked up onto the window as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfectly in place, but you wanna get it close. Oh, there goes the mic. Then, because it's mostly in place, it makes it easier to unroll. I think the Charger windshields are worse. They're not straightforward either. The Audi, the signature annoyance on Audis for me is the way that the bottoms tuck so far. Keep it up. I started a tint company. I owe you everything. All right, you can make a check payable to. That's super cool. That lower part drives me crazy. Ooh. There we go. I'm just gonna peel it out like that. It's got to tuck so far into that bottom lip. Do not like that. Do not like that. So let's get this side up. Tuck this down. Slide it over. I can fan everything back out. Mirror cutouts mixed with that bottom dash make me an unhappy camper. I want to be a happy camper. Now I'm gonna run into the same problem that we ran into on that one windshield with the rope. That's for sure. But yeah, the thing that kills me about these is tolerances in funky spots. So right now it's hitting me from the sides and this mirror cutout in a couple of spots. Just because the plastic butts up enough space to tuck behind. There's that. Now we got the edges to worry about. There we go. Stay out of my way, damn you. That's what I'm looking for. We still got to take a knife. Looks like we're going to have to trim it back a little bit here. But that's good. Yeah, they're definitely doing it on purpose at this point. That's for sure. Cool. Okay, this side looks good. Let's hop over to the other side. Broomstick squeegee. Yeah, it's called the Slim Sweep. Helps spread out the film a little bit easier. Got that. Now, don't be a... I don't want it to be, but I feel like it is. So, the point of this, look, see that area down there? You can just catch all of that. But it's not tacking the window down. I'm not trying to yet. Still didn't trim it back far enough. That kind of sucks a lot right now. Yeah, it's on the website. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Make sure we got nothing here, right? Remember, because we got all this stuff. So we don't want any little rubbers getting into my work. That would be bad. This guy. Still got one more straggler. Not much different than the brush. I get shit for buying a brush. Yeah, it's cheaper than a brush, which is nice, but it's thinner than the brush too, so I can fit it all the way into spaces that the brush doesn't fit. It's just kind of funny with the brush. Because it's like, what? You can't use... That's not a squeegee. You can't use that. You can't use it if it's not a squeegee. It's not a squeegee. You can't use it. It's funny how polarized people got. But they're okay. I love the idea. We were using like the pink clean in the same manner that you would use the brush. So the brush is basically like a wider version of that. How much is your classes? Check out the site. It'll explain a little bit more there. There we go. And then we're gonna squeegee up to it. So since I want to trim this right against the rubber, if I have it curled inwards, which I don't... Oh, you know what? Ooh, I just got it. It's just a little bit down there. This is actually going to work out really nice. Okay, cool. Yay. That's exciting. Okay, cool. That actually worked out better than I thought it was going to. So it was worth the extra time. What I was going to say, though, is if the film is pushed in and curls outwards, like it bows out, then there's nowhere to trim right on that edge. You have to basically overlap and then squeegee it, and then it bends against there, and then you can trim it. So when it's installing and you're shuffling it left and right, it's really easy for it to butt up into that edge, but I just pulled it back. You're right. I did leave you guys behind. How do you make all those streaks go away? Squeegee them out, wipe them off. I got no good place for a mic anymore. I have a different pair of glasses. I usually put them on there, but my glasses, I don't want to pinch them on my head right now. This is Apex. Steel wool? No. It's a tri-edge scrub pad. Glass safe scrub pad. I don't use steel wool. I don't like it. Oh yeah, we gotta squeegee a little harder over here. I like lightly squeegeed, but it's looking good. High tech? No. Should be a good film though. They're a global distributor. For C2 and Pro Nano, so far working out well. Nice. Ooh, that looks good. Neat. That's exciting. I wasn't nervous. Were you nervous? I was definitely nervous at some point. I need two. I gotta put one in a Slim Slam. Might be my new Slim Slam squeegee. Where's the new Mac? Oh, this one. That was easy. Yes. Oh shit, we might just be using one squeegee in total. High tech is really good, but I think I like the color on GeoShield more. So funny. Earlier I said there's a lot of similarities with manufacturers. So High Tech is a global distributor. So that means their films come from Guari. However, High Tech is their way of selling global outside of their territory. So that's why those films look a little on the brown side. That was the case with like 35 and Pro Nano. Some of those films were a little bit warmer. And C2 is a lot more neutral. So from what I understand, High Tech also has a black line. I think like the same names, they just have they call them black. So those are gonna be made from somewhere else. So like Geo C2 and Apex and C2 Carbon. Okay, I'm definitely nervous, but it's looking good. Looking real good. Alrighty. See ya. This will fit down here. Do you prefer the bulldozer or something like the side swipe for the bottom edge? They all have their place. So I love the side swipe. we have this newer one called the Slim Slam. And so this is kind of my replacement for a side swipe. What I like is that I can reach down straight with a 5-inch blade into tighter places. So where it was harder to reach with a regular 5-inch blade, because this takes up a little bit more space, I can just push out more water in tighter spaces. So both of them are still good. But there's places I'm going to use a bulldozer that I'm just not going to use a side swipe. So like down here, for example, it actually fits really nice into the this windshield. Oh my God. This shit looks so good. I'll be honest. I'm impressed. Not that I thought it was going to turn out horrible, but it was looking a little dicey there for a minute. I have both and I use both. Yeah, it's situational. So the tools that I would jump into a windshield or a back window is going to be bulldozer, tail fin, and then a side swipe. But this one has replaced most of the use of the side swipe, but side swipes are still handy to keep around. How do you get no contamination? Looks really nice. Practice. I mean, I'm not going to point it out. I'm not going to say there's absolutely zero. I'm going to pretend that there's absolutely zero there, though, because as far as everybody's concerned, there's zero. It looks super good. I'm just astounded you paid $841 for window tint. It's definitely not that uncommon anymore. It's higher. At that price, I would expect a perfect job. Oh yeah, you definitely should get a really good job for that. And if you get subpar work, yikes, that sucks. Score. Yeah, everything at that price, everything should be like top notch, 10 out of 10. Absolutely. Most of ours top out at like $650. So like this film, all around on most vehicles with the windshield, you could add more to the cost if you're like adding a sunroof. But you can't necessarily just say that's expensive. And it might just be more the norm where he lives. I just got my car, or I just dropped my car off. Is this what they're doing? Yeah, we hope so. Are they live streaming it too? I wish. They should. I agree. Oh man, that turned out good. Can you tint over the little black dotted area on some windshields? Yeah, that's what we did. I'll tell them when I go pick it up. I appreciate it. preference for glass towels. I get glass towels from Auto Fiber, but they're so high. Towels are just good ones, can just cost money, but like a 300 GSM, like Eagle edgeless ones from the Rag Company are really good. So like right around like a 300 GSM are pretty good. Sometimes they'll leave, if they're like on the plushier side, they leave a few more fibers behind, but overall they're really good. You can soak up more water with that. Waffle weave ones are nice. I tend to go for a mix, like one that's just like this. So like plushy enough, can do good, just soaking up some water, wiping off the glass. And then we have these thinner purple ones. These ones are just really nice. Throw them through the wash, and they do a really good job of leaving less streaks behind. But pair it up with either like Sprayway or like an alcohol mix for your glass cleaner. I think Sprayway, Invisible Glass is really good. We have this blue stuff over there called Car Pro Eraser. Anything that evaporates like really fast is really good. The faster it evaporates, the like easier it is to just streak free. All right. Pull this out. We'll double check the side windows. Put everything back the way we found it. But we should be good. Very happy with the windshield. I was nervous there for a sec. But you see how pinched up? Like, ugh, Audis. That's why people say they suck. So you go to install the windshield. I have a much harder time doing the windshield because you have such a wide dot matrix area that comes down super far past the dash, and then everything along the sides, it can just be cut slightly too wide. You feel like it's going to be short, and you install it, and it's slightly too wide. And you're like, how did this happen? And you're just trying to fan out the film, but you got like the mirror in the way and everything else. Just a tough window. Is the windshield 50? We did 35. We actually did 35 on the side windows and 35 on the windshield. The EV version is even worse. Yeah, I don't get that many Audis anymore, and I'm very thankful. I worked at a shop where I swear I had a month where it was just like BMW 5 Series after BMW 5 Series after Audi A this, Audi S that, and it's just like they were all getting full windshields. Like, fuck my life. It's the worst. If I got them more regularly, I'd have, like, it's just, you know, you used to F-150s and Malibus, and it's not that all my cars are F-150s and Malibus, but I get a lot of domestic stuff. And regular cars. So I just, not in an area where I get too many of these. Remember we used to have something where it would say the people's comments? Yeah, I still have it. But it's on my headphones, so you don't hear it. It's not on the computer speakers. You pull down the film to cut the top edge? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gets tucked into the bottom seal. Cut aside, slide it over. Cut the other side, slide it back a little bit. I used to watch you way back. Dang. Irrelevant now. Sad. We getting old. I know it, right? Are Audi SUVs difficult? Yes. Yeah, they definitely can be. Some are harder than others. This, I'd say, is not even on the... It's pretty average Audi. It's not super crazy, in all honesty. So, on the next one, I would just especially make sure that, honestly, I would probably take off the glass aid and take a light and just make sure I'm extra close to that edge on both sides. And then same thing for this mirror cutout. Like this side, oh, it's so annoying. You see this? You see how much space I have right here? It's great. No issues with that. But then you jump over here, and like up here is pinching against the window. It's those little things that like you don't really notice. And then you're installing it and then you get stuck. Are most modern kits not pre-shrunk? Yeah, no kits are going to be pre-shrunk. I sold kits for a little bit, and I had the idea to snap shrink them. It wouldn't make them perfect, though, but you could guesstimate a lot of windows. Because I could snap these windows on a glass board. And it really wasn't bad. Makes it easier to install. But there's some that you're not going to be able to guesstimate it that close. Ooh, that's nice. That turned out really, really good. Alrighty, dudes. I got the customer waiting up front. So I'm going to cash them out. We're all set for today.